What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be reviewing JND the Batman. Does this piece warranted a $3,000 price tag? Let's find out. If you're new here, make sure you like and subscribe. Let's get started. All right, everybody, here we go. We're going to start at the base here and just talk a little bit about like how JND does their bases. They're basically just a museum style base, but I can really appreciate some of the detail they put into this. And what I mean by that, if you look at the top of the base, I thought it was a bit bland at first, but when you look at this, it looks like broken concrete in the street, but also little puddles of water everywhere. And you can see that kind of reflecting off of the base and then on his boots. And I do want to talk a little bit about that. I got this on a Lazy Susan, so we're going to spin this around and take a look at everything. But just look at the detail on the boots here, on what a great job they did on that. They look fantastic. I love the wrinkles and the weathering. This is where JND really shines. When you look at this material here, you think it's material or mixed media. This is actually sculpted, believe it or not. That was hard for me to believe in the beginning, but when I unboxed this and went through it, I realized that 100% of this is sculpted. There's only a few things that are not, but everything else is. Take a look at this. This looks like, maybe I can focus in there. This looks a little bit like it's like canvas, but it's actually sculpted. Just what an incredible, job by JND to do that and how they got that all together. You can see all of his equipment here, his straps on, on his gear, and we'll go up to his belt here in a minute, but I did want to go over all that. You can kind of see there, like his boots and the weathering. Have a good idea what it looks like. And as we move up here, we can kind of take a look. Here's looks like maybe the grapple gun there. Go up here, you can kind of see he kind of has a kind of ready to kick your ass type pose. And you can see the bolts here. These feel like aluminum or metal, which is super cool. Really love all the battle damage. Here's where his suit is here. If you can really see like the texturing and all the little grooves. But on camera, this definitely looks a little light, but it is much darker in person. But here's all the utilities, and these clips do not open. I was kind of disappointed about that. I thought these would be more to where you can put stuff in, things like that. They would open up. Maybe you can pull out some of the gear. I know the Blitzway one has stuff like that to where you can mess with the gadgets a little bit and have that, which is kind of cool. And we'll look at both portraits, but here's the weathering on the armor. And I think the Blitzway one, his symbol is removable. This one is not, so there's kind of a little bit of a miss there, but still super cool. Take a look at the armor here too. And let's go to the money shot here. Here is the portrait. And I think this is very close. If I had to rate this is probably 98% likeness. I mean, it's just right there in it for the cowl portrait. We're going to talk about the unmasked portrait here shortly. But you can see like the wear on his cowl and kind of how that kind of portrays. See, that comes up on camera, and it does. You can see all the stitching on there. There he goes, a good shot, stitching of it. And the bottom half of his face here, this is silicone, and he does have the glass eyes. You can see those. It does look really real. Again, this is where JND shines the most. And let's do a 360 here. Kind of, you can kind of see the cape here. Excuse me. It was a little, there were some wrinkles in when I first got it, but after time, gravity has already, made it to where it's kind of sagging down more. It looks great to me. There is some weathering on the cape too. You can see how Some of it's darker and it goes into lighter. It looks like the bottom part's been dragging on the ground maybe a little bit. But I really love that. I love how they did that. You can kind of see here, let me kind of move this around here. You can see all the gear behind him too. And, let me move this up just a bit so you can get a good idea. You can see all of his gear here, kind of wrapped around. I love that like club. Looks like club's like kind of in his back pocket there. There's the gauntlets. Man, so much detail on this piece. It's just unbelievable how they did this. You can kind of see there how that works. Kind of going through things. Looks super cool. Move this around here real quick. Going through. And then you can kind of see here the portrait one more time. I did want to go over just one more turn around, then we'll talk about the unmasked portrait. Man, I just love all the gadgets. It's super cool how they did that. So when you think about this, like, you know, I know Blitzway has, you know, like I talked about earlier, their pockets going to open up, some of these pouches and things. That was a great touch, and I think they should have did that here. I think it's a little bit of a miss, but still done so well. This is a fantastic piece. I think this cape should be back just like that, just a bit on top here. Yeah, it looks good. So let's talk about the portrait here. And what I mean by that is the unmasked one. See kind of how he has that kind of, I'm going to kick your ass type pose. And I love how his fists are out like that. I think he's got a better pose than the Blitzway one. This is one of the main reasons I bought this one, mainly because of the pose and the likeness. But you tell me, let's take a look at the likeness on the unmasked portrait. And you can kind of see, you know, what he looks like without the unmask. Now, I haven't styled his hair too much, but you can kind of get an idea of what he looks like without it. The hair is fully posable. It is rooted hair and glass eyes. And it just kind of hangs down. But I love the bust stand, how they gave you this. And notice how it matches the other JND bust stand, which I can really appreciate. This is super cool. All the textures there on the bust stand. But I mean, you guys tell me, what do you think about the likeness? I think it's very good. Is it 100%? No. I think it's more like 90, 92, 95%, somewhere in that area. But I can tell you right now, this is silicone, and silicone does not show up well on camera. And when someone told me that in the beginning, I was like, well, how much different can it really be? And when I got this in hand, and I started realizing more and more that, you know what, there is a lot of differences from camera to the actual in-person. You know, when you hold it in your hand, when you look at it, I mean, this is silicone. You can see like this is silicone. And be forewarned, if someone ends up picking one of these up, the magnets on these busts are extremely strong. So difficult to pull these in and out. So I actually put a piece of paper between the magnet, so it's a little bit easier to pull out. But what a great piece by JND. I really love this. So I guess the next question is this. Should you spend $3,000 on this piece? So I'll just give you a little bit of an insight. On this particular piece, I got this on spill over at Specfiction. Can't even talk, on sale over at Specfiction. And I paid a really good deal for this. I paid, the price I think was almost $900 off. So I spent a little over $2,000. I think it was like $2,200 shipped to me, which was just a deal I could not pass up. This is going to go with my DC movie collection. And I think for the price that I paid, 100% worth it. So having this piece, having the Blitzway piece available, which one should you go with? I think the likeness is definitely better on this one. Is it $3,000 better than, you know, what's almost $2,000 for the other? I personally would, if I'm going to pay, you know, full retail, I probably would go with the Blitzway, only because of the prices just so much more affordable. If you're looking for, the close, the likeness to just to be as close as possible, this is probably the way to go, in my opinion. But Blitzway did a great job, and I think theirs looks fantastic. But I still think this one has the better likeness. Is it, again, is it worth the extra money? That's going to be up to you. I personally would not have paid the full price, but with the special deal I got, I couldn't say no. This one here is fantastic. I think it has great presence. I think the pose is fantastic. And I'm going to give this one a 9.8 out of 10 for likeness, for what this piece offers, and just how great everything came out. I love the bus stand. I love the museum look. This is a home run and definitely stay in the collection. Great piece. Make sure you comment below if you plan on picking this one up, or what do you think? Do you think the Blitzway one is better, or do you think the JND one is better? All right, guys. I'll see you next time. Stay godlike.